will be starting this set off with Vortix on the Ibits up against Beasty playing the Byzantines on Boldlands. Looks like our players are getting into the game now, though. Flicks are starting to ramp up, so we'll be jumping in right after. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the first game of our third set of the day. We've got Wham playing as the Ayubits in the color blue, his opponent in the color pink. It is none other than Beasty.
Wham looking a lot like Vortix here, but we will see.
Wait, what? Did I say Wham? Did I actually say Wham? Okay.
We will see Wham.
Yeah, that is not what I meant. That
next set, which I think you will be casting as well. So save that one for later. But we do see loading, and now we see our player's perspective, and we do have Vortix in the pink. Is this magenta? Is this our first time seeing the?
No, it's yellow versus yellow. No, it's
now
yellow versus
red, and it's on the other side. But we are seeing Beasty. There we go. Beasty is in the magenta. It looks like, at least in the game, on the Byzantine, on the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side.
No, now it's red.
Now it is red. Maybe we will see it one time. But we are going to have Vortix in the yellow, definitely, I think, this time on the matching color of the Ayubids. Getting right into this one. An interesting matchup of civilizations. I think we've seen this one before, but also an interesting matchup of players. These two have an extensive history, but one that's been a bit one-sided for Vortix, actually, in recent times.
Recently, yeah, very recently, Vortix has been pulling ahead. You know, he's been putting in the hours, he's been grinding, and at the moment, I want to say like the current meta does just kind of favor his type of playstyle, his very aggressive playstyle, night raids all around, and that's just something that Vortix very much excels at. And Beasty is going to have to give it his all here. He's going to be playing the slower civilization with the Byzantines. Does have some nice bonuses, though, when it comes to massing up units with the Mercenary and the Olive Oil. Vortix with the Ibits going to be able to mass up those Desert Raiders, but Desert Raiders historically don't fare too well up against either Longbows or Javelin Throwers. I'm guessing, mercenary-wise, that we will most likely be seeing Javelin Throwers here. At least it would be my choice. As the Desert Raiders do have that range tag, so you're going to be able to do a good amount of bonus damage to them.
Yeah, I think the matchup we saw earlier was, if I'm remembering correctly, it was Marine Lord was on the Byzantine and did still opt for the longbows, interestingly enough. So we'll see if Beasty feels similarly. I know he does tend to favor those longbows generally, but of course, those javelins are so good against those Desert Raiders, especially early. But the longbows do have that scaling. We see Beasty's opened up, choosing 3 to go on stone. Seen different players do different builds, different number of villages to open up. What does that tell us?
It's a little bit more greedy. It means that he doesn't expect direct aggression coming over from Vortix. And indeed, Vortix actually opening us up here with an economic wing growth. So he is not going full logistics wing, something that we see most of the time. Players just really valuing that that healing in the feudal age. Instead, it's going to be going for the growth ring. It's going to be spawning 3 free villagers upon completion. Will also be increasing the food that's being kept by those berry bushes next to his base. So it's going to be an economic focus from him early on, but does still open him up to either the reinforcement wing in Castle Age or potentially, I think much more likely, the logistics wing in Castle Age. It's going to be spawning 3 instead of just 2 dervishes, and is still going to like just allow him to vacuum up all of the relics on the map.
We talked about whether to be aggression. Vortix, I mean, what is he known for the most? One word, aggression. And we do see that villager coming across the map.
10 vills on wood, and he does have enough for an outpost. This is actually just going to be a fast outpost rush. Or maybe like a proxy production building into an outpost. I feel like with Ayubits, you always have to be a little bit more reserved when it comes to going for proxy buildings of any kind. Ayubit and Abbasid alike, mainly because it works counterintuitively to your Golden Age bonus. If the buildings aren't connected, then you're not going to be getting that counter up to the next bonus for the Golden Age.
And Beasty does have both of his berry bushes sort of in the back of his base. Presumably, no, and we do see the production come down as stables is going to be that choice. Desert Raiders?
Yeah, Desert Raiders could be a choice here. At least at the beginning, you want to get a Desert Raider in just to be able to harass the berries from range, because melee units will most likely get sniped along the berries there. They're not going to be able to reach everywhere there. It's interesting because Beasty Scout right now would be scouting around Vortix's base and be looking for production building, any signs of production coming in from Vortix. And BC isn't going to see it because, well, the production building is next to his base.
No, it is no reason for him to be there now. He's scouted out that side of the map, and his scout is currently, like you said, sitting alongside Vortix's, looking for that production. But it's actually a Horseman, the first unit that's coming out, and following that up, it is going to be an archery range. So Vortix committing to this.
Yeah, what a very exciting play here. But Beasty, look at that. Feels like he knows that something is up. He doesn't see any production here, but he still instinctively is rushing up an outpost on his side. But the Horseman is going to be coming in now. Beasty, is he going to be committing to the outpost? It does appear that he is committing to the outpost. 5 villagers have been building that. Acrotoy defense also gets used, so all of these villagers are going to be having an extra bit of melee armor. And it looks like the outpost is going to end up getting finished up here. So is going to have that little bit of extra defense here working for him. But Ayubits, similarly to the Abbasid, they do not require siege engineering. So Vortix is going to be able to make a ram immediately with the archers that he just produced. So yeah, he, in theory, already has the tools that he needs in order to start pressuring this outpost. BC even investing into the arrow slits placement now.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there's enough space there to get the angle for the archers to be able to fire on those berries, but with the arrow slits on the tower, that definitely keeps them safe, at least from the archers being able to pepper the villagers. But if it is a ram we're going to see, and it comes down right away, then that's not going to make a lick of difference at all. Vortix definitely looking to commit to this and end the game here and now.
Yeah, definitely looking to at least apply a lot of pressure. We see BC now opening up with a barracks, should be opening up next with either a mercenary house or a stable. It's going to be the mercenary house here from him. He did send a lot of villagers over to the berries, so we'll be getting a lot of that oil of oil in next. Matani is going to be moving over towards the horseman, but, I mean, the cistern is already on fire. The water inside of it not going to be enough to douse those flames, so it will eventually go down, and that's already 120 resources that Beasty did invest into that, which is now going to be getting denied alongside 4% of worker efficiency. And with the ram, before he goes for the outpost, could also just take down the second cistern there as well. Looks like he's going for the outpost straight away.
Beasty putting so many villagers on the berries, trying to get as much of that oil as he can. Of course, with the changes to the reduction of the mercenary costs, there is a chance that he'll be able to get more mercenaries out than previous. There is now a bit of a commitment. The shield walls are up, coming in with the limited nade. They take quite slowly with that shield wall up, and you see that ram really struggling to go down. It is getting pulled away now. The villagers come out of the tower to get that damage down, that fire damage, and now that tower is upgraded, and it will be a much safer position. A lot of units going down for Vortix as well as he walks away.
Yeah, VC did invest a lot of resources into repairing, into also just garrisoning the villagers. A lot of idle time, but in the end, definitely worth it to keep that outpost alive until the fortification upgrade comes in. Vortix still investing more into the military, though. It does remass the archers, going for a second ram this time around.
If at first you don't succeed, try and try again. I mean, Vortix has to get some damage here done. The first javelins are coming out. That's going to be huge at picking up those archers, especially in these smaller number skirmishes. So if Vortix isn't able to get a lot done here, the tempo is really going to switch into Beasty and the Byzantines' favor. Second ram done, and it looks like we're going to go for it again right away. And there's a bunch of horsemen behind us as well, so it's not a definite hold for Beasty. He's done well so far, but he is taking that damage with the cistern. There is another one there that he could potentially try to get, but he knows, Vortix knows he's got to get some damage done. He's got to push off these berries, get this tower down, and it does look again like it's going to be a decent commit. Beasty coming in now with the limited shield wall up. It's just a few javelins, and it looks like a little bit of not quite getting the path. One goes down really, really quickly. Now the three of them are able to fire at the archers, but not having that fourth one there does make a big difference. The limited are now focusing on the rams. The villagers come out to repair up the outpost, but with one hit it will go down. Horses looking to re-engage, but they don't. The repair is just enough to keep that tower up, and I think it may just be enough to keep it up again.
It's so close.
And now those rams, there's no way it's going to be able to get that damage.
Oh!
Again, 1 HP, and that ram is going down.
That is
Beasty
huge.
Holds.
400 wood for Vortix down the drain. Beasty is investing a lot into the repairs, idle time was and whatnot, but yeah, ultimately being able to hold that outpost. Not that it's going to secure the second berries. The berries that's over there are already mostly depleted as well. So it's not a lot of value to fight over. but still, it sends a message, I want to say. Vortix behind this, though, he is looking for a potential age up now. And oh, look at this. This is the Anatent. This is the Anatent or B strategy, going for the proxy barracks into the mass pump of Ghoulems after the age up. Then it's going to be, okay, it's not going to be logistics wing, it's going to be advancement wing. He needs the faster and the less expensive age up.
We saw this from Anatent before, I believe, as well, looking to find that timing with their UBID fast age up. The advancement wing giving you, of course, a cheaper age up so you can get there quicker, but also research is faster. 96 seconds we saw there compared to, I think it's 2 minutes, a full 120 seconds for a normal UBID age up. But there's a good amount of military there for Beasty, but it is in limited and he's got that second group of javelins out. If he does see it, Beasty, there's units down here. I don't believe the scout.
I don't think he saw him.
He's pulling them away, Vortix, to make sure that he doesn't see what's going on. So Vortix has a bunch of production at the north of Beasty's base, and now a bunch more at the southeast. I mean, if it doesn't work, try again. We are going to get the third wave in, well, about a minute.
Yeah, behind this, Vortix is also researching Pierce Armor level 1 already. Beasty's still far away from an age up. He did pull 8 villagers over to gold, though, so he is very much trying to get the age up in. And look at this Beasty now. He's sending everything forward towards Vortix's base. And yeah, Vortix, he's going to have to worry about this. He doesn't actually have that much gold secured right now. Right now, he could only make around 5. Okay, now it's going to be more like 8, 9 Ghoulems. So has a couple more in the tank now. But still, it's going to have to worry about this army that's coming towards his base right now. Okay, that's great reaction-wise, though. He's going to lose maybe like 1 villager, if at all. Yeah, he's going to lose that one.
One does go down. I mean, Beasty knew the age up was happening one way or the other. I still don't believe he's seen the barracks, but he must know something is up. If there is not something in Vortix's base that is going to be turning it around on Beasty, then it is going to be on the map, and regardless, he's going to be seeing those Ghoulems very shortly. Throwing away, I guess, trying to get some value out of those last of those archers, but it's not archers which are going to be the matter, as Vortix queues up 8 Ghoulems immediately, and the first of those will be coming out very shortly.
Able to get at least 1 villager kill here from the looks of it. He's going to lose the horseman and the scout, though. Villagers from Vortix, a little bit of a shuffle going on here, as Beasty did sneak all the way around the base.
But Vortix managed to, he went out to that right-hand side gold and then has found his way back. So he's actually on his original gold again with all of those villagers, which is going to be more Ghoulems. Of course, Ghoulems as well got that 10 food cost reduction, which doesn't seem like it makes that much of a difference, but it does when you're making so many of them. Now Beasty obviously sees it coming in here, gets another villager killed. There's some limited nay there, causing some havoc there, getting the hits from the Ghoulems rather than the villagers, so they can get away, but they cannot take this straight up fight. But honestly, it's pushing away. Beasty is holding on a little bit, doesn't take too much economic damage coming away from there, and still has his Gonzo and Javelin counts, but it is going to be that Castle Age which he needs. The Golden Horn Tower going up with 15 bills and half done already.
Ghoulem's trying to look for some damage here. Army from Beasty. Still plenty of units underneath his TC here. Vortix does not want to take this fight, at least not without Pierce Armor level 2.
Actually,
not something he can afford at the moment.
Yeah, melee armor level 1 for now. Oh no, it's these migrating villagers. They're trying to sneak away, and now, oh, he's just got just enough to one-shot them as well. That's got to feel bad for Vortix. 10 eco kills now for Beasty, and he is needs to hold this in the middle. There still is no Pierce Armor level 2, so it is going to be a lot of more damage going in on these Ghoulems, but they're trading out very well with the limits in A, and the Javelins aren't the ideal counter to the units either, but as long as there's not the eco damage getting done, it could be okay. Getting on top of the Javelins now, if they can get some damage, and there's still more flooding through. 13 now in the field, but there are none more in production for Vortix. Not the food for it.
Yeah, not the food at all. He did just sneak out all the way towards the bottom with a lot of villagers on the berry, so he's going to be getting some additional food in there. Beasty, though, also out in the mid-map, getting those deer in. And never forget, he still has, villagers, though, with the Akratoy defense.
The unknown counter to the Ghoulems. Fighting back with the Akratoy.
He's making the Varangians now. Varangians do actually have an additional +1 melee armor So they aren't going to be taking nearly as much damage from the Gulam as other Men-at-Arms would be. And yeah.
Not to mention the double hit, right, from the Gulam, so it comes off twice. So actually, the Variant Guard's a pretty clever response from Beasty. But Beasty is having to pull a lot of his workers away, a decent amount of idle time there. Vortix also has not been able to get back onto gold at all, has been sitting on 50 for a while. 3 Gulams in the queue, 2 there, but I mean, the count itself for Beasty is still so much. Even if those villagers are running away for their lives from those couple of Gulams, it is really not too scary from a distance. And picking up every Gulam that Vortix loses, and as time goes on, his window is closing and closing. And this military count looks pretty rough for Vortix.
It does. Up to 9 Varanging Guards now already. Villagers still getting harassed on Vortix's side. Hasn't managed to pick up any of the relics either behind this. It's just been idle to own base. There's an outpost. Oh, it's not in range though. Oh,
does need the upgrade. Has no stone for it.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that still is the plan, but not going to be the case at least for a while as well. And it is just, I mean, it's continued. It's Gulam, 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 but they're not coming as thick and fast as they once were.
Yeah. Not able to pick up the javelin throw over there in time as well. Now he's finally able to get maybe one. Nah, doesn't even get the villager kill there. Wheelbarrow has been researched as well for Beasty, so he's going to be able to outrun the Gulams. They're a little bit faster than normal Men-at-Arms, but it's not going to be enough. Outpost now also under fire. It's just about able to get the aircits placement in, but yeah, there's more than enough units to burn it down regardless of that emplacement.
And just as it finishes, it goes down as well. Vortix hands on head. And that is GG number 1. The commitment to aggression is respectable, but not working out for Vortix this time.
Yeah, it was an interesting play, but Beasty doing the right thing there, sending all of his units forward, while the proxy buildings from Vortix were all forward on the other side of the map, meaning that he couldn't really respond to those raids going on inside of his base at Beasty with the exactly correct timing to go for his own age up. Means that, yeah, Vortix, by the time he arrived in the base, Beasty already had enough resources for the age up. All right, I'm going to be back in a later set. I'm going to be doing a quick switcheroo here with a stand-in. And yeah, Ben, I'll be leaving you with Boy for the time being.
As we can see, it's Holy Island, so...
Holy Island.
That's a very interesting pick. I mean, very micro-heavy, so I think... Vortix will be very strong on this map for sure.
Oh, we do see. So HRE and Order of the Dragon were picked by Beasty, and it's Order of the Dragon which gets sniped out. And it's going to be the Tukalite getting sniped out, so it's going to be our first time seeing English.
Yeah, I mean, English is very interesting. It's definitely not to be underestimated.
But the one thing I've heard players talk about when it comes to English on this map in particular is with that Admiralty upgrade, the extra range on your ships in the feudal age is basically like having castle age boats. And if you can get to that point as English, it becomes very difficult to lose water and then very difficult to lose the game. So it may be a case of whether Vortix can get to that stage or whether Beasty has done enough by then. As we see both players' perspectives, both looking pretty calm, and I think we see a dock opening from both of them. So basically, as expected, as we've seen on this map, all tournaments so far.
Yeah, I'm very curious. Will they go for 1 or 2 docks? I mean, 2 docks, it's quite greedy, but it can really pay off if the other player doesn't play that aggressive. And I mean, the thing is with English, right? If you go for the king, you're gonna have that king out maybe 30 seconds after you start building the landmark and start raiding that wood line of your opponent. So that can be really strong. It's gonna force your opponent to make at least some units, maybe some horsemen or some spearmen to stop that king, while you can just keep investing some more fishing ships or maybe even more aggressiveness.
Yeah, a lot of players everywhere hating seeing that English king come across the map. But the pro players not having too much respect for the civilization. I think English and Mongols have been the two which have received the most stick as trash civs, hearing from the conversations so far this week. But if there is a map where English can shine, it is going to be Holy Island. And I think for Vortix, he has shown his micro on the water is one of the things he excels at. I'm sure he has that confidence in himself to be able to win in that situation against any of the players here, Beasty or no. And it's just going to be a case as to whether he can get to his spot. But here we do see probably coming across to the water as expected. I don't know if we see any second docks yet. Surely we are going to if we don't see any on the gold so far. But otherwise, pretty standard openings, I think, from both of our players.
I mean, definitely. And what you said about Mongol and English being maybe the lower rated civs by what pros are saying right now. Mongols, so far this tournament, has won 2 times and lost 1, so they have a very, very strong win rate of 66%. So, you know, who knows, maybe English is also being a bit overlooked right now by other pro players, and Vortix is seeing something other players aren't, because, I mean, it's a second pick, so he likely sees it as a strong civ, or at least as a good strategy for it, and thinks he makes a good chance here.
I think that's a really good point. Speaking to pro players, I feel like you can't take anything they say at face value or take it too seriously. This is trash. This is good. What do you need to do to beat a Mongol? Anything you want was the answer. And then we see the Civ win. Maybe that is going to be the case for English. The only player, I got to say, who has stuck to his word so far with everything he has said, to me at least, has been Anatant. He did pick the Jin Dynasty and will forever have props in my book for that one. And it is nice to see English here, but definitely not as much of a as an outlier pick, at least on this map for the English. As we did see a second dock come in there for Vortix. And do we know what we've got out for?
It looks like just a single dock for Beasty so far, so I don't think he wants to play too crazy, that he maybe gets pushed off of his wood or something, because I mean, that can be, of course, very bad. So it looks like he's just aging up. He still has 6 villages on there, so it looks like he does want some constant fishing boat production, even though he's slowly going to those resources to get to the feudal age.
Yeah, and like I mentioned before, I mean, Beasty was sort of undone by that land aggression from the Burgap. We see the cheeky killing of the sheep there from Beasty, getting all 3 of them.
Poor little things. They haven't done anything wrong. Just, they don't deserve to be slaughtered like that.
They never do. And yet every single game of Age of Empires 4, they find their fate. And as a New Zealander, it is an absolute shame to see. But in this case, now we see it is going to be the Mine Work Palace, not opting for the eco of the Arcane Chapel. But those upgrades do help a lot militarily, and especially up against the English on water, and then looking to secure something on land is going to give him a bit of tempo early on.
I mean, what I'm quite curious... Oh, and we see the barracks. So indeed, it's probably gonna he's probably gonna use some of those unique upgrades to get +2 extra damage on a spearman and a horseman, which it can be very, very powerful if you do some early aggro, especially with that fishing economy behind it, when you can really, really pump them out. Because I mean, horsemen can be very, very expensive on food, but with that fishing eco to sustain it, I mean, that can be a very, very powerful play from Beasty.
And with Beasty opting for only that single dock, he's going to have that little bit of time. We see the Abbey of Kings only just starting for Vortix, but it is 6 villages picking that up. And of course, the King will follow very shortly thereafter. It is Spearmen coming out the gate, 3 of which queued up immediately from that barracks. And yeah, like you mentioned, the All Pikes upgrade gives the extra +2 damage, not to mention them being able to get all the rest of the normal upgrades. Does mean that those spearmen are even better. Not to mention the marching drills, so they run a little faster too. You don't really think of HRE as having great units necessarily, but the mine work and spearmen is something of a bonus for them.
For sure, for sure. And he is making his first archership, so he is going to try and contest that water present as well as the land present. What I'm very curious about is if he might think to add some horsemen as well later on, because I mean, in response to this, Vortix has to make those longbowmen. And I mean, you want to make longbowmen as English, they're very good. So I'm very curious as to what Vortix will do here. Will he not expect the spearmen and maybe go full on water, or is he just gonna try and you know, maybe a bit skirmish on water, but a lot of land presence, just like Beasty?
He's going to have to respond to both. Beasty's got the archer ship coming across the map already, has come out, not to mention 4 spearmen already on the map. He's trying to body block this villager to get back home. Of course, no wheelbarrow at this stage of the game. Those spearmen do run faster, like we mentioned. We hear the bell get rung, but if he commits the feudal upgrade coming in, so it looks like he is got it. The body
and it dies.
Is he going to lose the... No, of course, the village is not under the TC like they would be on a lands map all the way off at the gold mine, and the wood line means that there's no chance for even an English TC.
And we see a tower rush from Beasty, very, very aggressive. Now here's where it's going to be becoming exciting. He is trying to get rid of that safe wood line from Vortix and force him to the back wood line, where it's so much easier to raid for Beasty. Meanwhile, Vortix also pushing back Beasty on water, so yeah, I'm very curious. Beasty has a demo ship also in the queue to try and contest that water. I mean, what I would love to see here, if they decide to play some more water. Vortix and also his brother Lucifer are very well known for their massive demo ships play, which in my opinion is always very, very interesting to watch.
And Beasty unfortunately does also have something yesterday that he was known for with regards to a demo ship and some very, very poorly fortunate villagers. Now I think this looks maybe like Beasty taking the last game a bit personally. You all-ins me 3 times in a row, and now I'm going to try to take the aggression to you. But I really do think this is also Beasty trying to get something done early before Vortix can get to the Admiralty, which we see almost finished in the queue, which is going to get that extra range to his ships. But if Beasty can get some more damage, we see a little bit of eco damage done already. It does get a little bit, but not really. But two-pronged attack, we see a spearman raid, of course, those extra fast spearmen, and a bit tankier. But as you mentioned before, longbows out on the field for the English, and that does feel pretty good being able to take out these raids. But something that doesn't feel good for the English is that sound, losing the king.
Yeah, I mean, it's so far, it's not that big of an investment for Vortix. It's very unfortunate that he has to remake the king. That's more than 200 resources down the drain, which you would rather not spend on a king. Because the king can just heal itself if it gets away and with even just 1 health. As we are seeing so far is that Vortix has 2 more ships in queue, and Beasty also has more ships in queue, so we're definitely going to see some more water brawls here. And I mean, this is where Vortix really shines with his APM, right? He can play both water and land at the same time and keep up, so that's we're going to see how Beasty does it.
Vortix has fantastic micro, but one thing we have seen, especially from this map, is just how micro or multitask intensive it is. When you couple in fighting on land, the potential raids, while also trying to fight on the water, and Vortix does have the advantage on water with the Admiralty and the extra range, but that doesn't matter if you're not microing them well. If you aren't constantly kiting back those Springald ships to be fighting at maximum range, if Beasty ships do get in that extra bit closer, then there is no advantage from the Admiralty upgrade. As we see, the king shouldn't die here again, but is able to push away. But it doesn't look like, actually, whether that's vision or not, but that tower doesn't look like it's actually able to hit any of those villages, at least at the moment. And we see Springald ships going on the demo. It actually might pick it up. That's quite nice for Vortix. And we see the effect of the range upgrade right there.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And Beasty has a lot of units in queue. I mean, he has a very, very strong eco going. He already has his double broadaxe, and he has +1 ranged armor, so his ships are a bit more tanky. There is no archer ship from Vortix here, but the Springald ship do manages to almost snipe out the demos. They just get back with a little bit of health. Beasty still playing it very, very aggressive near the wood line. Adding in some horsemen against the longbowman, seeing what he can do. Maybe, oh, there's a... Yeah, that's not great that they can just walk into the wood line there.
They are gonna walk in, but Vortix, I mean, the reason that this is coming in against him is because he is taking or macroing up with the Castle Age himself. I can't remember who it was that said it, but it is the case that you will never see Vortix make, I was about to say, at least a demo ship, but also galleys, as you can with the range snipe out the demo ships, but only if you make use of the range. Splits away
huge
quite
explosion.
nicely, but that's 2 kills for free. And that is Vortix sleeping a little bit with his control on the water to lose those against those demo ships. Does not sleep on land, does pull away the king in time at least, but that is not something that Vortix wanted to happen there as he looked to get up to castle. It is the precarious timing for him, for if Beasty was able to then go in and win the water, or whether get eco damage on land. But now it does look like things have settled. Beasty's gone back on water, he's gone back on land, and the White Tower is coming up with a cool 17 villages.
I mean, that white tower spot is very, very nice. As we can see, it protects the wood line, it protects the gold, as we see on the minimap right here. And it is needed, right? Because the tower is currently on his front wood line, so that can be quite dangerous. But as we see here, he is going to have a massive wood line all to himself. I mean, basically no danger, right? The white tower is very, very strong. It did get a slight nerf, but I mean, you can't really dive that.
Yeah, it's 15 villages rather than 20. It's still plenty of room, and that is going to be a really tough spot. There's not really anything Beasty can do, at least for a long time, to be able to get in and do some damage around that. Water is probably going to be the spot that he's going to try to do some, because of course, getting up to Castle Age, Vortix is going to be able to get those upgrades, as he may be able to get no, and does lose the Horseman for it as well. And this is a really scary situation for Beasty. Vortix able to get pretty safely to a point where he wanted to be, both on water and then on land with that white tower. And as now we saw that monastery going up, going to look even to pull in the relics before Beasty can get up, but he is almost at the macro for that himself.
Yeah, and I mean, this is the point where Vortix really, really wants to push, right? He's just gotten in his Castle Age upgrades for his ship, so they're going to be extra tanky. And Beasty doesn't have it yet. I mean, he's trying to get to Castle, but he's not even there. And even once he's Castle, it's going to take a while for those upgrades to kick in. So Vortix really wants to put the pedal to the metal now and force a fight with his extra range, extra health, extra damage.
And the one thing for Beasty here, he's got absolutely no advantage on water, but he does have 3 demo ships off to the side, trying to hide away. But very clever from Vortix, knowing that the only path for those demo ships to come in is going to be onto the right side, and pulls his galleys that way. Now Beasty is looking to push back and maybe can run in on water, but we talk about the multitasking. Vortix is going to lose that again on lands, but who cares? He would much rather lose the king if he can trade out for a few demo ships, and maybe looking to get a Springlord as well. And this is still so powerful for Vortix on the water. He's kept a 5 fishing ship lead for basically this entire time as well, which is going to help out his eco. As English, don't really have that much in bonuses there, and particularly compared to HRE. Another, that range is so far. This feels awful for Beasty to play in against on the water.
Yeah, I mean, losing the water can be pretty detrimental. It's not the end, as we've seen yesterday. Losing the water and just fully investing into land, that can really catch your opponent off guard and then still win you the game. And I mean, Beasty has 3 scholars out, Vortix 2, and with that Regnit's Cathedral, every relic that Beasty picks up is going to be twice the worth of Vortix's relics.
Yeah, as we see them start to get picked up, that's the first one there from Vortix. He's got another one also trying to make its way back. Beasty's got one on the way back as well, and he's still got that one safely tucked in his base. So at least a 2 to 3 sort of situation for himself, which is not bad based on the timing that Vortix was able to get with his Castle Age. That water just looks so scary. And actually, Beasty does find the monk again, or the prelate, excuse me, who lost his escort, those knights and longbows, and does go down in that while the horsemen are going to run away to safety themselves. And in the meantime, Vortix is pushing back in, and this is the entire fishing eco from Beasty. Ships going down very quickly. He's going to only be able to get 3 inside if he wants to, and it's just, no, he's giving up on water. But like you said, that doesn't mean it's all over, but it is going to be the water being cleaned up from Beasty.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, at this point, Beasty should just focus fully on land. I mean, Vortix, to win that fight, he had to invest just a little bit more on water than Beasty did, so he doesn't have as much army right now as Beasty. And Beasty can just, with those knights, he can get that extra upgrade again from his feudal landmark, right? So he gets that extra damage and armor for those knights. I think it's +2/+2 if I'm correct.
+2 armor,
+2 armor,
melee and ranged armor.
Yeah.
Yes, super tanky, and a great front line. Coupling that with men-at-arms as well, so just full armor coming in. That certainly makes the longbows a lot less effectual. And Vortix knows, though, he's got the crossbowmen queued up, and they're going to be coming in to deal with both those knights and those men-at-arms.
Yeah, and we see the knight upgrade coming in right now from Beasty, so he is going to indeed play for those tanky knights. And I mean, the knights from Vortix will feel like they're tickling against Beasty's knights when that upgrade comes in.
It is really powerful. I think in this case, it still is such a tough situation for Beasty. Obviously, down hugely on eco, down on military as well, lost the water. He might, if he can keep that, it looks like he might be getting pushed off the middle of the map, but if he can get that 3rd relic, that will be so huge with the power of the Regnit's Cathedral. But it is a little bit tough. We see it get picked up for Beasty, so hopefully able to bring that home for himself to give himself something back into this game. But Vortix, he's not done. He's won water and killed the eco there, but he's not relenting. He wants to kill the eco on. Oh, even killing it with the boat. The range of these things. That's ridiculous. Those deer are just, he's not going to be able to get them.
I mean, that's very bad, right? He doesn't have water eco anymore, denying one of the dare packs, so he has to go for the top dare pack on the top of his base. After that, switching to berries, it doesn't feel great for Beasty. He has 20 eco down. Now, you like Vortix is ahead in military, but he does have 10 boats, right? So it's the numbers are skewed a little bit on the top. It's still, I mean, almost 12 knights for Vortix going to be soon, and then 10 for Beasty. So it's definitely nothing to scoff at here for the Vortix army. But this is a very nice race by Beasty, and it doesn't look like Vortix is paying that much attention.
No, but Beasty not looking to catch the first villagers. Maybe looking to get a body block. Could that 15 village, the garrison nerf come into play here? A little bit, but only 2 eco kills in total, and I think there was only 1 there as well. I'm sure Beasty was hoping to get a lot more damage from that dive. And on the flip side, knights from Vortix coming in at up to 22 eco kills. It's a big, I mean, we see the resources collected. I'm not sure if that's correct. We've seen some bugs with that so far, as whether Beasty is ahead or ahead by that number. But in this case, we do see a little bit of an engagement now. We've got buffed up units from both, and there's a decent crossbow count here firing at the men-at-arms. So as long as they're not firing on the spearmen, that's going to be decent for Vortix. Microing back, that's very nice for Vortix to bring back those weak knights. Both of these civs can heal, but it looks like their army from Vortix is going to be too much in this engagement. That is so much dying from Beasty. Now behind the military
it just looks
and
so
eco.
dire now.
The last knight doesn't make it out either. And that's where Beasty's gold was as well, which means Vortix is going to have full control of that. And the rest of the villagers were up there on the wood line as well, running back. Even with wheelbarrow, they're running so slow. And it looks like GG is going to be called. Vortix takes it again to go 2-0. No, 1-1 in the series. Excuse me. As Beasty was able to hold that first game, but Vortix bringing it back. The player that goes aggressive, not getting the win, as we've seen so far.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you say not aggressive, but Vortix also went king, made longbowman. I think it was an aggressive game from both sides. BC definitely with that tower putting that pressure up early against Vortix. He might have been sweating a little bit, but I mean, the way he played that water, he just played great, dominated it, and Beasty wasn't able to come back with it with his land play. What is really interesting to me, right, is that we've seen Mongol win 2 times now. We've seen English win. I mean, these are civs that people really are saying that they are not that great, usually putting them a bit lower in their tier rankings of the civs. But they seem to be really doing well in this tournament. It's really exciting to see that maybe we're going to get some more variety, and also maybe a lot more unexpected matchups where maybe or at least the lower rated civ will have his time to shine.
There's going to be Jeanne d'Arc against Delhi. A bit of a classic matchup, that sort of French JD versus Delhi.
And as we can see now, we're going to jump right into the game with Vortix in the north and Beasty in the south. I'm seeing 2 different colors on the screens, but I think that's just...
four different colors on the screen.
Yeah, 4 different colors.
I do know, I mean, Vortix has picked, we will see most likely the red versus blue on our screens, but Vortix picking the yellow, and I know Beasty, when things didn't quite go his way yesterday, he said, well, maybe tomorrow I'll pick dark green. We'll retire the yellow, at least for the day.
I mean, it's Delhi, right? You have to pick dark green. It's just so
true.
good looking with that. Oh, and we are seeing a slight pause here.
And we are straight back into it.
Yeah, on the north, we see Vortix immediately moving out for those deer, trying to get that early food source in. We see... why can I not think of the name? We see the upgrade coming in so they can gather the deer 15% more quickly. Survival techniques, of course.
And then we see every upgrade coming in for Delhi.
As expected, right? If we don't see every upgrade coming in from Delhi, something has gone totally wrong.
We used to see that, honestly, a decent amount, players forgetting to get the upgrades. Maybe not so much in the Dark Age, but particularly as you hit that Feudal or Castle Age timing, forgetting to queue those up. But I haven't seen that for a while. Credit where it's due to our players as we switch across here. And we are going to see... No, actually, I'm not going to count my blessings just yet, as we will get production to sort out the overlay however they like. But we are going to have the Delhi on the south of our map there we go, as Beasty in the Delhi on the south side, and in the north, Vortix in the yellow on Jeanne d'Arc.
am I seeing this correctly? I'm seeing 2 red dots walking across the map. Oh, there is 2 scouts. I think that was switched around to the wrong way. So there is 2 scouts from BC and 1 scout from Vortix. So I'm very curious with these 2 scouts. BC should be able to get a lot more sheep than Vortix, which I mean, of course, as French, you like your food. You want to move out to the map, but also getting very little deer can be very dangerous. Because if you ever get pushed off of those outside resources, things can start falling apart really quickly.
Yeah, it can really open things up, right? If you don't have as many sheep and you have to go out on that map, and that's where things are vulnerable. You really do have to go quite a ways outside of your base to pick up that food on the map, be it deer or berries or boar. And particularly on Gorge, we sometimes see the double scout opener. Sometimes it's a little bit luck-based, but if you can see the opponent's scout and sort of find the rest, the 2 lanes are either side of the gorge, I guess, then you can almost guarantee yourself a much higher sheep count rather than leaving it up to pure chance. But I mean, Vortix not responding to, but won't feel too bad if he doesn't get the most sheep in the world, as he did opt for that, as we see quite commonly with JD and French, opt to get out on the deer nice and early, right from the start of the game.
Sure, we can see, I mean, as expected, Vortix going of the School of Cavalry and BC going of the Dome of Faith. So it's nothing out of the ordinary. It's what we expect from the players, right? Yeah, I mean, like you said, like the deer out on the map can be very dangerous. Especially, I mean, the first deer is quite close to your base, so it's very safe for Vortix, I'd say. But especially the second deer, it's very, very far away. I mean, you almost can't get the deer further away than that, almost all the way at the edge of the map, right? So especially there, if the opponent can really get some raids in usually.
Yeah, I mean, both these civs like to play in feudal. They like to raid. They like to get damage done. The Ghazi raiders, I mean, they are a horseman variant, but they feel a lot more than that, really. But of course, JD loves to get her hands dirty in the feudal age as well. Whether it be, you know, double stables, mass knights, or a knight arch, or what have you, honestly, it kind of feels pretty decent for JD. The only thing that doesn't really feel that great, of course, is the economy, and that's really the main difference between them and the French. But this is a map that opens itself up. It lends itself to being able to get some of that damage done. And as we see the first knight coming out here for Vortix, and the Dome of the Faith will complete for Beasty, as we expect still maybe to see that Ghazi Raiders, the stables, come out first. But we could also look to see either the Spearmen come out, and it looks like we might see the Pro Scouts coming along soon as well. So maybe opting to get that sooner rather than later.
I mean, it's really tough, right, once you open with Spearmen, because you just have to play so defensively. You're gonna have no map presence for the longest of time. So I think the standard strategy with Delhi here is to open stables, because if you are forced to open with Spearmen, you are definitely setting yourself up on a back foot here.
Yeah, even the brace change really doesn't change that in favor. And not to mention, I mean, JD, when she gets her level 2 and can opt into either the Woman-at-Arms form or the Hunter, the melee and range, respectively, deals with Spearmen pretty well. But Ghazi are definitely a force to be reckoned with, and we see the first one there. But that Pro Scouts, I mean, with Delhi, you get it for free. Sure, you can choose to queue it up faster than others. No, not getting a hit there from the Knight. But yeah, you can get it somewhat earlier than the other upgrades, but it's still going to take its time to come in. So Beasty is going to have to wait for that before he can turn those scouts into resource collectors. The Ghazi chasing away a Knight, not something you ideally want to see as JD. Actually did choose for the Woman-at-Arms there. We saw great success out of Lucifer, I believe, with that earlier. Cleans up Spearmen immensely well. But it's going to be just, yeah, continued Ghazi, continued Knights for now from both players. Cavalry meta, but no damage yet to be seen on the map.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's something different than we've seen, because so far we've seen a lot of archer blobs in games. I think that's been very predominant so far. I mean, we've seen Puppy, we've seen Marine Lord just blob up like 60, 70, 80 archers. So it's very refreshing to see Knights, and I think a lot of people are expecting Knights to be very dominant. They have been very dominant, and I feel like the last year, like ever since Pro Scouts and even since the Pro Scouts nerf, Knights have just been so powerful.
Yes, Knight meta, Cavalry meta. Although it's a lot of those complaints have been against those super knights, the like Radari or the mounted samurai, but we've got the original super knight here. That is the French royal knight. But we do see now Spearmen getting added to the queue. I mean, the typical response to a knight or feudal knight civilization is going to be that horseman Spearmen. Is Beastyqt? Oh, we don't get the extra. No, we do get the extra charge. Okay. Very nice there from Vortix. I wasn't sure if he was going to pick that. Beasty just a split second late, pulling those villagers away, and also obviously sticking on that last berry means he had the furthest spot to run. But of course, Beasty repaying it in kind. Parting not super generous to him, and it looks like those villagers are going to get away themselves, not able to return the -1 with a -1 of his own.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we're talking about, right? Raids coming in from both sides, both cavalry. Beasty adding him some spears, because pure Ghazi against pure Knight, it's not ideal for the Ghazi. Like they can fend for themselves quite well, but it's not the same as a Knight, right? And we see archers being added in from Vortix as a response to the spears from Beasty, so we're gonna get a very classic composition. It's what we expect basically, right? You have the premium Knight with the archers, and you have the worst cavalry with the spearmen.
yeah. With something I'm sure a lot of players can relate to in this matchup. Very Delhi versus JD or French coded with this one. A lot of scholars being pumped out as much as he can from Beasty. We see still Pro Scouts not yet finished, but a lot of other upgrades will have finished by now. Not able to get out, or we don't see anything with regards to Sanctity and the Sacred Sites being fought on, but that is going to be something to keep an eye on as to whether Beasty can secure those for himself. For the moment, though, for Vortix, I mean, I don't really see him stopping making Knight Archer for a while.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you want to keep forcing these fights in feudal, try and get some damage, maybe like slowly just get a level up JD, right? I mean, Vortix definitely not going to jump to Castle Age anytime soon. He's just going to be the classic composition, spamming Knight Archer, just keeping it in feudal, trying fighting him for as long as possible. And we see Beasty adding in two more scouts, so for a total of 4 scouts, now that Pro Scout is almost coming in. So we can start gathering that outside there to just get some more safe food under STC.
Yeah, very clean. For Vortix, interestingly, he's got both his deer packs on the same side, which is nice for him to be able to get that, but his boar... That juicy boar is sitting on the far opposite side, hidden behind all those berries, so not going to be able to get there right away. Beasty coming in again with those Ghazi, not able to pick up a kill, just getting the idle time. Now getting his own food in from the map with professional scouts, but it is still, I mean, these Ghazi are still causing a problem. Not getting the kills, but is getting a decent amount of idle time, and everything that you can prevent economically from JD means fewer units. Fewer knights, if you can deny the gold, and particularly the food, and then of course also the archers as well. And we see, I mean, don't be too fooled from the military count because of the scholars as well. But honestly, that is a pretty scary army that Beasty is able to mass at the minute.
For sure. I mean, at 21 spears, there's nothing to scoff at, right? We do slowly see more archers being added, and maybe 2 villagers going down. Yeah, that's definitely... Oh, what a micro by Vortix. That's, I mean, beautiful to see. No, I was totally wrong. 0 villagers going down. I mean, only Vortix can do that.
If you were going to say, I was going to say. I thought for sure they were dead. Really quick on the keys there to ungarrison on the other side and then re-garrison. You do have to quickly switch your keys or manually click with the mouse to be able to do that in an instant. Very nice from Vortix. Definitely warmed up in the set. But we see JD on the front. The archers, every kill that they get is going to give experience over to JD. We see in the top right that little bar underneath her icon is her experience level. So about a third or just over a third of the way there. Still definitely a ways off. But I mean, at least at the minute, I don't see this game getting out of feudal anytime soon, which means as that goes on and as we creep towards that level 3, it becomes even more of a threat.
Yeah, and BC finally going for those sacred sites. Vortix trying to decap one with the scout. He can't really get the middle one because of the army of Vortix just poaching around there, trying to fight some kills, maybe trying to skirmish a little. Vortix now building that second tower to make sure his 2 vills on 1 HP don't die, because that would be kind of annoying.
It does feel like a bonus, doesn't it? 2 villagers on 1 HP and now the ones that are building the tower. That's got to feel nice from Vortix. Maybe a little bit of a confidence booster as well, sort of finding his groove to make those plays. and not necessarily a tilter for Beasty, but it is really frustrating when you feel like I deserve those. I did find that time. I should have been able to get those kills, but just the split second of those last Ghazi attacks not coming in. Now, Vortix sitting at the front of the base of Beasty, but not able to get much damage for himself done for a while. It is really the Sacred Site contest, which has been the main thing at the minute. Beasty was able to get, I think he got a couple of them for a brief time there, but now Vortix has cleaned them all up.
Yeah, I mean, Vortix doing is an amazing job denying the Sacred Sites from Beasty. Beasty's not gonna get a lot of gold in, which, I mean, when you start getting that passive gold and let Beasty have the Sacred Sites here, he's gonna naturally want to go to Castle, but without that Sacred Site control, he's kind of being forced into playing more feudal, which the longer the game goes, of course, the better for Vortix it gets. And we have some Ghazi again trying to find some kills on the tier pack. Vortix does see it though, so he can garrison his fills, but there is still one no fill, but Beasty just walks away, so it is going to get away scot-free.
Those villagers are definitely praying for their lives at the moment. Beasty looking to get back there, but Vortix responding and kind of having a few archers, knights there as well. As JD gets a nice swing there to pick up one kill and get some more damage on quite a few spearmen, but they can't take a straight up fight here. Needing to kite back with that archer blob to be able to pick off Spearman as he runs back. JD getting swings off as much as she can, but they've really got to make sure not to get her caught. The Ghazi wraparound coming in with a few more knights as well. Picks up the hill, but JD does have to stop to get the healer, which means she's left behind and she will go down. Nowhere near level 3, and a few knights getting picked up as well. This is just a move for Beasty. He can go across now and get some damage done while JD is dead.
Yeah, you don't want to fight now for Vortix. Fighting without getting any experience for Jeanne d'Arc is really, really bad. And those spearmen, I mean, as much as we praise the knights, 30 spearmen are still nothing to laugh
There are
at, right?
6 archers. I mean, he's rebought JD. It took a little bit of a re-engagement there before she got that nice swing there, picking up 4 spearman kills. But it's 7 archers, now 4 getting queued up. I believe Vortix only had, I think it was 6 villagers on wood looking to produce out of 1 archery range the whole time. Now up to 11. So knowing their heads up, okay, that's a big spear count.
I think something we should also not forget is the experience from Jeanne d'Arc. So close to that level up, and it's gonna swing the fight so much in Vortix's favor once she gets that level 3. I mean, just a few more spearmen to get sniped, or one or two Ghazi to go down, and we do see it's aging up now, and probably getting those men-at-arms for that front line. Yeah, I mean, the men-at-arms are just so good in feudal, tanking for those knights, making sure the spearmen focus at, and then the knights just shred through it all.
And the extra damage against the spearmen themselves, they are a hard counter to that unit, and there's 28 of them to do damage to. The Ghazi do a better job than regular horsemen against them, of course, but they're not like knights in that respect. I mean, I'm not sure if Beasty's going to need to pull the scholars to be able to take a fight and hold it here. JD level 3 is a huge power spike for Vortix on Jeanne d'Arc, and he's shown that he's got the micro to make the use of it as well. Obviously, getting the extra speed from being mounted means that you can get in there, do your 12, and win a fight almost solely off that.
Yeah, I mean, we see Vortix going for the production of Beasty, making sure he can make as many Ghazi as he did before. It's 150 wood that Beasty is going to need to reinvest, right? So that's always nice. We see Vortix getting some idle time from the village of Beasty. We see, however, the Ghazi coming back, and there's likely one villager going down. Yeah, and he's going to try and burn the tower down, but Vortix has to send some of his new knights there to get that up. And Vortix, meanwhile, pushing quite aggressively into Beasty's base, right under the town center.
The only awkward thing here for Vortix is that he has got so much food in the back. His gold mine run out at the worst possible time, which means he hasn't been able to reinforce with his winning units. But JD, a big swing there. If he can take a big fight here, it doesn't matter how much money is in the back. JD getting so much value. The knight's coming in now, but it's still a big spear count. If JD does get caught on those pointy ends of those spears, she will go down very quickly. The champions, John's champions, doing a great job to tank and do damage. The Ghazi count 14, but it's still 30 spears, only 13 archers. JD is still so low, playing with fire there, Vortix, and she does go down.
That is not great. I mean, it's, you can buy her back. Like, I don't think Vortix wants to wait for her to naturally get back. He does seem to be going up to castle now. He did lose in total 5 vills here on the dare, so that is quite a good hit from Beasty here. I mean, yeah, I think Beasty has had some idle time or something, because he's they're almost equal on village. I mean, Vortix is 1 villager behind. It's not that bad. But he is aging up now. He's going to get 19 knights, so that's going to be a huge spike once those age up and Jean d'Arc gets back. He's going to be able to heal up those knights a little bit more. There's a lot of low HP knights from Vortix, as we can see.
Those knights running away from the villages there almost. But there's the reinforcing army from Beasty. They do turn around to come in, and it's actually so clever because he's going to be unsuspecting. So many villagers are going to go down on the swing. Going up to now 8 villager kills. A few knights do go down, 9 villager kills. But it was just such an awkward anti-timing for Vortix, running out of gold at the worst possible time, meaning floating all that food would have been... Oh my god, and Beasty find those villagers there as well that were out at that second gold that came at the worst possible time, which means the age up was so delayed, there weren't units to reinforce, and as a result, not being able to take and losing JD, who is now back on the field and will come in and probably clean this up by herself.
It's not just these villagers going down. I mean that in his own right is terrible, but the archers going down. 0 gold gathering. He cannot even get a knight upgrade, and it's only 125 gold. I mean, this is terrible for Vortix. BC even getting more villager kills on the berries, up to 14, almost probably going to be 15 villager kills in total here. I mean, triple the army from Beasty. Vortix 5 villagers down. He is an age up, but no gold to make use of that age up.
No, and then the only other gold he's got is on the other side, which, as you mentioned before, the Beasty was able to successfully raid, kill 5 villagers in that spot on the far right with that gold. So even if they do switch or have switched off from that there, but it looks like they're not even there at this point anyway. And I mean, that is so many spears chasing down these knights. And we see, honestly, there's nothing in production for Vortix. He lost so much eco in almost one fell swoop. He's not able to get out onto that gold, but he's now, looks like he's gone back to that far right-hand side, but at the minute it's knights running away from Beasty's army. But ultimately, he does still have that age-up advantage.
For sure. I mean, as good as it was looking for Vortix when he was pushing into Beasty's base with the level 3 Jean d'Arc, that's how good it's looking for Beasty right now. Like, the tides have totally turned here.
We still haven't seen Beasty take any of the sacred sites now that he's got that map control as well. I think there might be one on the bottom side going out to one of them. But that would be a huge difference maker if he can get that gold coming in passive. Yes, that is one going across to that south side sacred site. If he can get that passive gold in and find his own timing. But for now, if he can... I mean, this is what JD or French does to other sets, where they stay in feudal and just keep taking good trades. It's very difficult to see it happen against Jean d'Arc, as a level 3 JD is incredibly scary. Getting a little bit of a spin there, but honestly, even with Jean's champions...
These Ghazi are having a field day.
Against this many spears and a handful of Ghazi, and then we see the Ghazi doing what they do best. Such fast units, able to find... and that might be actually his only food source. That is Vortix's only food on that barrier. They turn around before the knights get there as well. Completely idled out food economy. He's on the gold on the right side as well, so that's completely idled out as well, as those villagers turn to repairing and hop back in. That's 10 villagers there, and there is no units there for Vortix. This is the entire economy not only idled, but looking like it's probably going to go down.
And the villagers just running away. The spearmen meanwhile going for the other villagers, and it doesn't even matter. Vortix calls it. Beasty wins the 3rd game of the set.
And we do see our civs come in for Dry Arabia. It's going to be Golden Horde for Beasty and the Japanese for Vortix. Mali and French have been sniped.
I understand banning Mali in here, but banning French over Golden Horde? I definitely did not see that coming. I mean, I think there was either the chance of Japan or Mali, and I think both Japan and Mali do quite fine against French, but apparently Vortix did not think the same and was very intimidated by that choice of civ from BC. So in the end, we are gonna now see Golden Horde versus Japan.
I feel like with French, that's a civ that almost every player seems to say it's good, it's good, it's good, but it's not one of the top. It's not S. It's not one of these other civs. It's not a Sengoku, a Macedon, an Ottoman. Yet every time players are, one, scared to see it come through, and then two, when it does get picked, does incredibly well. Now, we did actually see this matchup earlier as well. I think at the Marine Lord series, it was Golden Horde against Japanese, I believe. And I think actually Marine Lord lost that on Japan.
I think so, yeah.
Or I've just made up a game, in which case that's completely fine too. But
I'm just going to imagine it like it existed.
There has been so much. These are long days.
Yeah. So, no, but we can see... that a barracks is being opened with for Vortix. So I'm quite curious about how many spearmen he is going to make. Is it just going maybe to be 1 or 2? Is he going to invest like maybe 3, like a little bit more?
So we saw the strategy out of Marine Lord, right? It was the Dark Age, as you normally do against Golden Horde, and Japanese do that so well. Dark Age pressure into, in Marine Lord's case, it was Fast Castle, and it didn't really work out. Whether that was execution or strategy, I will leave that for others to decide. One thing which I don't know if we're going to see, particularly because we've already seen the Dark Age opening here from Vortix, but with the Vortix, with Japanese, if you go for the Koka Township and get the Shinobi, if you can get onto the golden tent, you can stop the age up from continuing by sabotaging it. Now, I don't think we are going to see that in this case. I will be very excited if we do, but I think with the Dark Age, it's not going to quite have the timing available, though that is out of TC range. Something to think about. But that Spearman rush, I mean, the gold was in the front and was able to push away, but of course, Beasty is going to be able to get the age up nonetheless. And the next target will presumably be that Uvu at the back.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, defending at Uvu for Beasty is quite critical. Right? It's quite a big resource investment to lose. You also don't want to lose out on the stone gathering that it provides. The villager trying to sneakily mine some gold, but there's a third spearman from Vortix just coming for it. The villager is going back at his half HP though.
Playing mind games there, knowing he's right-clicked on the Gur, so he's going to be fine just to waltz back and take what is his and then go on home under the safety of his TC. Now, it was just the 3 spearman commitment here, so if that one doesn't come around, I'm not exactly sure on the timing here, whether this Uvu will go down. It's potential that if it is going to get close, that Beasty will be able to get out there and repair it, because it is only those 3 spearmen. Khan and Torgoods coming in. We have sometimes seen the building carts in response to Dark Age aggression, but typically I think players have kind of settled that. Regardless, Khan and Torgoods is the go-to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how much of the stone is in range of the TC, but maybe BC can send one villager out to the pit mine or the Uvu. it's not Malian. To just try and keep it alive until some of the Torgoods, maybe some military from BC can get out, pushing those spearmen away and saving that Uvu from death.
Yeah, absolutely. The other thing, I mean, if you are going to lose it, you can build another one right away. So if you sort of try to time that by going on the other side, there is that big stone to the left of Beasty's base. So he could put it up and then look to secure up his second one with the fuel age. We do see the Kura storehouse coming in for Vortix. Nothing untoward there, but the trick will be to see if he is going to look to turn that into a quick, fast castle. But in this case, we see something in the middle with the age up. 3 villages, not the 2 we often see with fast castle, but also not the 4 you often see with some feudal aggression.
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite curious what we're going to see from Vortix here. Is he just going to go to Castle, or is he going to play some feudal? I feel like Vortix likes his knights, so I have a feeling Vortix is just going to try and squeeze through that pressure that Beasty's going to give to try and get that castle, try and get those knights up. We know that the Spanish brothers love that. And yeah, I'm very curious to see how BC responds to that.
Yeah, especially as we have seen this matchup before. It's an interesting case. Do you take learnings from that? Do you really care? Some players, when they're watching on the couch, are paying quite close attention. Others, maybe using it for nap time, you know? So I'm not sure if there's that much of a download as we watch these players across so many sets yesterday and then also today. But we do see as we get in to the feudal age that Uvu did stay alive, was able to bring 2 villages out, so a decent bit of a commitment, but it keeps it alive. And now the Khan is available, and Torgood's going to follow shortly thereafter to try to secure.
Yeah, we do see the tower for Vortex, so it is indeed going to be a castle age. BC now producing the first Torgoods, having the Khan already out. I think it's quite a bit of wood that he's just spending. So yeah, there's some archers coming out. I think he's going to accompany that with a barracks, if I had to guess. But maybe he's going for horsemen. I'm not very certain what's the best play for Golden Horde here. But I mean, definitely just playing some aggression, right? Yeah, so it is going to be the barracks. Just some spearmen, some archers. Maybe I mean, maybe some of those special units that they can produce can be quite
Karash,
powerful.
yes.
Yeah.
I think one of the main advantages that Golden Horde do have is if you can get the Karash out, you've got that extra armor. It's like getting that blacksmith upgrade without having to get the blacksmith itself. And then if you can later add in that blacksmith to get even more ranged armor, then it means that for a fast castling opponent, you can put so much pressure with that extra production. And of course, so many units streaming across the map from the Khan, the Torgoods, the Archers, the Karash, the Spearmen. Sometimes we do see those Keshiks as well, but particularly when you're looking to pressure the gold and commit to feudal yourself, we often do see that kind of 1-1-1 comp without the stables, but using those Torgoods in their place. And Vortix is so good at putting in that type of pressure. He doesn't mind if he's going to stay behind in Feudal Age for a little while, if he can get, Beasty, if he can keep that aggression up. It's sort of flipping the script a little bit compared to other games, but I mean, we saw Beasty just before what he was able to do staying in Feudal with Delhi.
Yeah, and I mean, we can see how intimidated Vortix is by this play, right? He has a double tower of double arrow slits coming in. He really, really cannot afford to lose that gold, because the moment you lose that gold as Japanese, I mean, it's all but over, right? So, yeah, double tower, double arrow slits. It's going to be very difficult to push for Beasty, like 10 garrison slots to 2 arrow outlets. I mean, it's going to be tough, but we'll see how he manages.
It makes it really tough to be able to get in there and do any damage onto that gold, but it also does mean it delays Vortix's Castle Age timing, which means that even more units are able to come out from Beasty. Now, the production edict was nerfed a little bit, right? So we don't quite see. I think it was 20% to 15% increased speed, but actually there's no fortified outposts around those production buildings anyway. So scratch that entirely. And we now see it is the floating gate coming in. No surprises on the landmark, but we do have that timing. 9 villages on means it's going to come up pretty quick. Beasty has his contain, but this is his timing. If he can see if we can do any damage to Vortix before he's able to get up and get his first Castle Age units out.
I mean, the one thing I'm worrying about is there's only 4 villagers on wood. Beasty currently burning down a house, so Vortix probably has to go to rebuild it. Also has to build a stable if he starts wanting to get those mounted samurais out. And I mean, Beasty already having quite a sizable army here, so it definitely puts Vortix in quite a precarious situation where he's going to have to really try his best to push out here and be safe.
And Beasty sees it and denies it. Keep in mind here, we do have range defense in, and we don't see it on the UI, but there are 4 Karash there, so the extra ranged armor as well, which means the dive is on. Torgoods is so tanky, the Khan is tanky, and everything is tanky to that arrow fire. And that landmark is not complete, and it is not in a great position for Vortix to be able to defend. He has in total 1 spearman, and not exactly what you want, but it is going to be the commit. Vortix is going to look to get it up. There's only 1 villager kill that Beasty's been able to get, but it's got a lot of idle time on these villagers and trying to get the landmark up. The stable's there as well, unable to get up. And if you look at the eco for Vortix, he's got no food coming in either, which means that Beasty just keeps able to mass and keep getting denial.
And it's almost a second. A second villager going down. Oh no, not the monk.
Yorishiro goes down.
Oh, that's so bad for Vortix. I mean, he doesn't have a stable. He can't produce anything. It's like, it's not that he can't get the faster production, right? He can't even produce at all.
No money, no production. The villagers are running away. Kind of even the safe food, quote unquote, safe food from the Kura storehouse isn't able to be gotten, as even the spearmen wrap around. Nice little micro there to body block those villagers into the trees, which means they are all going to go down. And this is looking absolutely awful for Vortix. And unless I did make that game up, I think this is the same way it went in the previous scenario, with Golden Horde just being too fast, being able to deny that Japanese age up. And even if you can't touch the gold, I mean, who cares?
I mean, for sure. I mean, it's 30 military to 2. Beasty being up 8 villagers. Like, it's 7 villager kills, almost a full villager of idle time from Vortix, just not having enough food to produce the villagers. I mean, Beasty now with this big army, also not that scared of the towers anymore. Vortix, meanwhile, trying to get in some fortifications, but is it going to be on time? The 2 villagers running. It is going to be another villager kill.
Not having the fortifications is so bad in this situation. There's so many melee units, so much fire damage, and there's no way. Yeah, Vortix cancels it. There's no way that was going to get up, which means that gold is denied. He's got 800 in the bank. That's great. Nothing else. Does he have a market? Maybe looking to trade out of that. But honestly, even with that, there's not much.
I mean,
that he's going to be
you
able
can't
to
really
achieve.
afford to trade the gold away, right? The moment you trade the gold away, you can't get anything else anymore. Beasty's denying everything around the base from Vortix. 2 archers just camping on the other gold, making sure Vortix doesn't get out there. So gold is going to become a very scarce resource very soon, which, I mean, that's basically all of Vortix's resources right now. All the villagers running to the town center, getting even more villager kills. We're at 12 at this point, and the villager kills are just going up and going up. I mean, what isn't in the DC is just idle.
There's nothing left. I mean, valiant effort to try to get something out. There were a couple Mounted Samurai that were able to get on the field. 3 in total, 1 dies right away. And a couple of Yumi there as well. I don't even know if we're even close to be able to get the Yumi upgrade alongside that. Honestly, the only defense that Vortix has is his town center, and that is not enough. It turns out the 3-1 curse is real. It was just a blip before. Another set complete. 3-1 to Beasty over Vortix. GG, well played. Great series from Beasty.
Yeah, it was a great series. I mean, I guess the previous series was just a small glitch in the matrix, right? We have another 3-1. The streak continues. Let's just forget all about the last game, you know? So we only have 3-1s on the scoreboard. How beautiful would that be?
It's basically a best of 3 at this point, and then they just play another match for fun.
Yeah.